Hola, mi gente, and welcome to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. This short form podcast features the stories of Latinos from our community, from engineers, business owners, students, and so much more. Each episode will give you a quick boost of motivation and encouragement before starting your day. I'm your host, Sonia Camacho. Thank you for being here. Now let's get into today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Today we have the very first bonus episode, and I've briefly mentioned what these are going to be, but basically, whenever I have a guest who may not be Latino but has something inspirational or a story to share, I'll have them on in the off weeks. So today's guest is my friend Loc Do. You may recognize him from his viral social media post where he recognizes Fuerza Regida, the Corridos group, at the Portland airport. He's a first generation Vietnamese man who shares his journey of learning Spanish online for others to see. He's really taught and immersed himself into the culture, and I think it's time for him to share his story. So, Loc, go ahead and tell us a little bit more about yourself. Thank you so much for being here.
So my name is Loc, but it's actually pronounced Lop in Vietnamese. And I was born in Dallas, Texas, but I was raised around Portland. Yeah, what got me into Latin culture was a couple influences. I always had Latino friends growing up. The first thing I remember was in third or fourth grade, and I had music class. And my music teacher, she asked everybody in the class what song they wanted to play. So I always played Feliz Navidad. And then fast forward to high school, I watched Fast and Furious for the first time, and I heard Bachata
Uh-huh.
Aventura for the first time, and I loved it. And then a couple years after high school, I bought a truck from a Mexican guy, and inside it, he left the CD Los Angeles Azules. And the first songs was Como te voy a olvidar, Mi niña mujer, El listón de tu pelo, Nunca es suficiente, just to name a few. And it was funny because I was jamming out, and then I asked my friend about the CD, and he was like, "Dude, my parents listened to this."
I think that's really cool that music has really inspired you and kind of got you started on this journey of where you are today. So, I guess being someone who's not of Latino culture and trying to really like immerse yourself and learn new things, have there been any challenges that you feel like you've faced?
Honestly, like when I was taking class in college, it was just like it was just something to get credit so I can get my degree. But then like I just started liking it so much. But at first it wasn't easy. It was just, I would learn something and then it would go from one ear out of the other ear, and like I had to work at on it so much. Just
Hmm.
like basic conjugation, just sentences and all that. But now I'm like I would say it like I'm an advanced. Yeah.
That's cool. So, along with that, what is some of your biggest motivation that keeps you going every day and like inspiring you to keep learning? Because I know it's not easy trying to learn like a completely new language and things like that.
Well, I had three people that like motivated me to where I am today. So two of them were like my so-called friends, and they always said negative stuff towards me. They weren't even my friend. I don't even know why like I hung out with them or whatever, but they would say, "Oh, eres un pendejo," and like they'll speak Spanish to me hella fast, and I understood, but like at that time, like my level was like very low, and then
Hmm.
now I like remember, and then they would be like, "Oh, you never get girls, you never learn," and all that. So just like that really impacted me and like discouraged me, but I kept going. I had a very close friend. He's Vietnamese also, and he loved Mexican and Latin cultures just as much as I do. And we would get invited to carne asadas like a couple summers ago,
Uh-huh.
and we would eat and drink the whole time because like you're Mexican, you know how y'all get down.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, and they all passed away around the same time, and then like it just really hit me. It gives me the fire that I have today in learning languages every day. You know,
Yeah. Oh, well, that's tough to hear, but I'm really happy that that's like a motivation for you to keep going and learning new things.
I have it like goes past the grave, you know. It's like I'm trying to like prove a ghost wrong, but you know, it's like I'll never see them again. But my friend I was just talking about, my Vietnamese friend, I imagine him me doing all this stuff. He's like there with me in spirit.
Yeah.
He's laughing at me. He's like proud of me, you know.
Yeah. So next, I want to talk and highlight your social media. How has it been sharing and documenting your journey of learning Spanish with people who you don't even know and like with the public? And kind of what do you see for the future of that as well?
It's just crazy to me because I'm just an Asian guy who loves Latin culture because it's so rich in a lot of stuff, such as the food, the music, and especially the people and the culture. And I'm just glad to be accepted and share all this with the people that I know and not know yet. It's kind of funny because some of the people I know, they're probably thinking like, what are you doing? What is this guy doing? But this is what I love and want to do. And what I see in the future is going to all Latin countries, learning other languages, and making friends from all around the world.
I know a lot of the listeners probably might recognize some of your viral videos when you were recognized by, or when you recognized Fuerza Regida, which is a Mexican corridos group.
It's just crazy because, like, you know, I'm just like an Asian guy listen to this music, you know. I happened just to run into them. I yelled their trademark, Puro Fuerza Regida, viejo, otro pedo, and then and I was just talking to them, and they're like, ¿Cómo sabes español? Blah, blah, blah. ¿Te gusta nuestra música? I was like, por supuesto.
Well, what are some of the ways that you keep up your learning? You know, is it through TV, music, any apps that really help you?
So I have a couple ways of learning, you know, like I always try to mix it up, you know what I'm saying? Because I get bored of one way. So like a mobile way I do is Duolingo and then YouTube videos. I just watch a lot of like tutors and then I watch like telenovelas, películas en español. And then I only listen to Spanish music. I used to just listen to English, but now it's strictly Spanish. Like I don't even know the last time I even listened to English music. And I do this so I like my mind get used to it.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely one of the ways that my mom tried to get us to learn Spanish a bit more fluently is like watching novelas with her, and she still does it to this day whenever I go visit her.
Another way I learn is I get out of my comfort zone
Yeah.
and I go to events where there's a lot of Spanish speakers, such as the club where they only play Spanish music, festivals. I went out of state to get out of my comfort zone and to meet new people. I go to bailes and jaripeos, like
Yeah, which is actually where we met a few times. Thanks for sharing some of your stories. So I think I want you to leave the listeners with some words of advice and encouragement for anyone who's thinking of learning a new language, because I know your desire to learn languages and educate yourself goes beyond just Spanish. So what are some of the things that you would want to share with others?
there's a bigger world out here than just learning English. You know, if you're learning Spanish just like me, Spanish is spoken in 20 countries. So, you know, and then it's also spoken in the United States. Everywhere you go, you're gonna encounter and hear Spanish. Before I learned Spanish, I actually learned French because in high school, I discovered that I have cousins in France. So I actually took French classes in high school, and I was so good that I actually won an award for it. There's not a lot of French speakers here, so I transferred what my French knowledge into Spanish. So that's where I am today, but I still have that big desire to learn because French is spoken in 29 countries. But the first things first, if you want to learn a language, all you have to do is be interested and just like make some friends, find some music, movies, just you know, get yourself used to the language, and it just gets easier and easier. But you know, it's all consistency too.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's really great that you've had this desire to just keep going and inspiring yourself to learn all these languages and sharing your story to inspire others. Thank you again so much, Loc, for being on today's episode. I'm really happy that we were able to share your stories with some of the listeners, and hopefully anyone that finds you through social media will kind of have a better understanding of who you are and what you're about. I will have all of his socials linked on this episode. Thank you again, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Follow the podcast on all social platforms at Cuéntame con Sonia Camacho. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. Want to be featured in a future episode? Email cuéntame.sonia@gmail.com. Thank you to our equipment sponsor, Shure.